for takeoff.
Bobcat 1-2, moderate to heavy precipitation, 12 o'clock, 20 miles, extend north 30 miles.
Air Traffic Control, ATC. An area that has been on Asobo's radar from the beginning. One area that had to be addressed and a needed aspect towards better practices in flight simulation. Before we start this video, I'd like to be honest with you right from the beginning on my thoughts here. There were many times when I really didn't look at how important ATC operations were, and ever since I began flight simming, I always kind of stayed away from ATC operations, and it was simply because I had no clue on how to really operate this. It was a bit overwhelming for me, and to be more frank, intimidating. I'm still learning, and something I'm sure to learn and enjoy, especially with tools that can mitigate this, hoping to bridge this gap. It's been 4 to 5 flights I've taken using ATC from SayIntentions AI since I signed up, and I have to say that I've begun to understand the need for an ATC and actually started liking this process. I feel that ATC is one element that is essential to many of us, including myself, towards better flight simulation. It's not just a flight button and take off from the runway. Experiences like this help us broaden our horizons to understand on how things really work at the controller space and give us a better understanding that it's not just the pilot who is the center of the aviation universe. There are other key players who facilitate this process, helping to streamline every aspect as safely and efficiently as possible. Why ATC, you may wonder? The key to flying to maintain safety and efficiency. Air traffic control is all about keeping airplanes safe and organized in the skies and at airports. Think of it as a highway in the aviation world. They use communication, technology, and their expertise to guide planes, prevent accidents, making sure everything runs smoothly. It's a job that requires a lot of training and skill, but it's essential for safe air travel, and we as users have to be part of this to communicate, helping them navigate us safely from point A to B. Now this video is intended to cover my thoughts on the newly introduced SayIntentions AI, the setup of the program, settings at the sim, and of course a demo flight, helping you understand the process and benefit using this. SayIntentions AI. This is the only air traffic control system that utilizes AI so far. Currently at beta, you get a chance to try this for free for 24 hours, which gives you a bit of time to give this a try and see it for yourself. Although I was hoping to see this for maybe a 7-day trial, AI services currently is expensive, and the team are doing their best to accommodate this in their best possible way. However, if you plan on using this, make sure to get yourself prepped to really give this a try with a few flights, to capitalize on the 24-hour timeline on better using the ATC program. There's a $1 charge which will be immediately refunded, and it's a way to comply to third-party AI services. Let's dive deeper into each step and break down on what you need to do for the setup. Getting the app. Head to the SayIntentions website, just like you would visit any other site on the internet. It's where you'll find all the tools and information you need. It's useful. Once you're there, you'll need to log into the pilot portal using the username and password. Make sure you sign up if you haven't created an account yet. It's a couple of minutes to sign up. Now look for the option to download the SayIntentions program. It's a software that lets you communicate with virtual air traffic control in the flight sim. After you've downloaded it, you'll typically get a zip file. Unzip it and place the file somewhere convenient, like your desktop. There's no complicated installation process, just unzip and go. Something to note is that I had a hiccup in the beginning to run the exe. So make sure to disable your firewall first and auto protect if you're using an antivirus program on your PC. It took a few tries for me to finally figure this out, that this was blocking me from installing. The setup. Open the SayIntentions app. It's like a control center for interacting with air traffic control. Now first things first, enter your username and password in the designated fields. This is how the program knows that who you are and links up with your account. Choose a call sign for your aircraft. As you can see it, I've chosen Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha. It's important because that's how air traffic control will refer to you. Keep it realistic, like a real airplane call sign. There are a few other settings you can tweak to customize your experience. For example, if you're new to Sims, you might want to enable student pilot mode for extra guidance. I personally like to keep this on to make things more comfortable, and this is just the beginning for me, and maybe up the notch a bit more once things get better for me. You'll need to make sure to connect your mic and headset to utilize this effectively, so make sure your microphone and a headset are properly set up. You'll need them to talk to air traffic control and hear the instructions. Another thing, assign a button on your joystick or yoke to act as your push-to-talk button. This is like a walkie-talkie button for pilots, allowing you to speak to ATC when you press it. Let's talk about the settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now the whole point is that the sim doesn't interfere with SayIntentions. Go to the settings menu and disable anything related to the in-game air traffic control. We want SayIntentions to handle all the communication here. Ensure that the flight simulator doesn't automatically adjust your radio frequencies when you're using SayIntentions. This can actually cause conflicts, so it's important to turn off any features that do this. Let's test this out. It's time to see if everything works smoothly. But I want to try something out here first. In the settings when we watched it first, we saw many language options. Now this app supports many languages, and Hindi is one among them. I'm very curious to see how it can support and if this really works. The ground frequency suggests 121.6. Let's tune into that. Okay. Alright, let's give it a try. Oslo ground, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, radio check.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha Gardermoen ground, readability 5.
That was loud and clear. Let's try another one. Oslo ground, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, how's the weather?
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, NGM 070350Z00000 KT9er9er9er9er, BKN 0360602Q1020 Nozig.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, thank you.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, you're welcome.
That was a good response. It usually took about an average of probably 10 to 12 seconds, which is normal for an ATC tower to respond, I believe. And this is AI, so the response time seemed to be pretty decent. I'd like to try something different here. Let me try something here. Oslo ground, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha. I parked my GA aircraft on a military apron. Is that okay?
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha negative. Relocate to general aviation parking.
Now that's an accurate response. I actually parked my Cessna on a military apron, which is not supposed to happen. So this is a good response. Accurate. Let's try a couple other things. I'm curious about the languages, what they offered. Let's try Hindi. Let's go to settings. And I'd like to do a couple of queries to the ATC. Okay. First, I'm going to say hello in Hindi and then ask about the weather. Hopefully, we should hear the response. Let's give it a try. Oslo ground, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, radio check kara ho main.
Cessna 8XX, Charlie Alpha, Pathaniyata 5.
It sounded a bit Punjabi, but that was Hindi. But this language is in Hindi. However, I did see the translation here in Hindi, which is good, which is really good. Let's ask about the weather. Oslo ground Cessna 816 आज का मौसम कैसा है?
Cessna 816 ENGM 07035000000 KT 99999 broken 03606002Q 102096.
Let's try German. I'm curious about German on language support. But first, I'd like to know a couple of things in German. And please forgive me if my German isn't great. I just know a couple of words. I am going to learn German someday and hopefully soon. So please forgive me, Germans, if my German isn't great. I hope my pronunciation's right. I'm curious, but I'm excited. All right. Oslo ground Cessna 816, Charlie Alpha, Ich marsch einen Radiokosch. Oh, I forgot to change the language, but I'm curious. Let's see what the response is.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha सुनाई दे रहा है.
So basically, the response was that she didn't understand what I was talking about. Let's change the language and try this again. This was interesting. So intentionally or unintentionally, if you do a mistake, it does correct you, which is a good thing. All right, German. All right, let's give it a try. I'm not sure about numbers in German. Okay, 816 in German. Okay, Achtung.
816.
I know Achtung. I always thought Achtung was attention, but you know what? Der Sinn. Okay, let's give it a try. Oslo ground Cessna Achtung der Sinn. Ich mache einen Radiokosch. Okay, there wasn't any response here, which has happened to me a few times. Let's ask about the weather. Wie ist das Wetter? Okay, let's give it a try. Oslo ground Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha. Wie ist das Wetter?
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha ENGM Meter 00000 Knoten 9999 bewölkt 03606 02Q 1020
So that was a German response. Let's see what exactly they mean here. Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha ENGM. Okay, that was the same thing what the Hindi ATC TAR lady was talking about. Perfect. Wow, this is impressive. Okay, let's roll back to English. English United States. Let's go ahead and taxi and get to the runway and do a small VFR flight and show you guys how exactly it is. I think I've had fun over the last few flights. Let's give it a try again. Let's start the engine. Oslo ground Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, ready to taxi.
Cessna 816, Charlie Alpha taxi to runway 19 right via Uniform November. Contact tower on 120.1 when ready for departure.
Taxi to runway 19R, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, thank you. So essentially they suggested me to try flying through 19R, essentially navigate through Uniform November and then take a left at Alpha and then connect to TAR 120.1 when we're ready for departure. Alright, let's give that a try. I'm sorry, there are too many applications open, so if you see some stuttering, please pardon me for that. Let's try to trick the system here and see if in case it corrects me. Okay, let's first tune in there. Oslo ground A320 ready for departure.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha Garderman Tower, winds calm, runway 19 right, cleared for takeoff.
I don't think the system got it right. The last time I tried this, it corrected me, mentioning about my call sign, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha. Let's give it a final try and see if it really corrects me or not. Oslo ground F-16 ready for departure. Alright, never mind. Let's take off. Oslo ground Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha ready for departure. Now what was interesting on the previous flight was as soon as I flew around a few nautical miles, it immediately reset the airport nearby, confirming that I'm in a different airspace. I'm gonna try flying back to the same runway. Let's see what the ATC suggests. Oslo Tower Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, what runway can I fly into?
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha Gardermoen Tower, runway 19 right is available for your approach.
Runway 19R, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha, confirming, thank you. That's runway 19R, that's visible. Oslo Ground Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha on final runway 19R. Please confirm. Thank you.
Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha runway 19 right confirmed. Cleared to land.
Clear to land runway 19R, Cessna 816 Charlie Alpha. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day in Oslo, isn't it? Wow, look at that. By following the detailed steps, you should be well equipped to enjoy a more immersive and realistic flying experience with SayIntentions. There we go. I really think this was the best way to go, and after the 4th or the 5th flight using SayIntentions AI, I really haven't used the default ATC at the sim, and rather prefer to use AI ATC by SayIntentions, which was a learning experience leaning towards a much more realistic experience. From the languages to the support, to the way AI could identify my aircraft, and the ease of use, and more importantly, this made me personally way more comfortable on using ATC, which gives me a joy to enjoy flight simming even more. I suggest you to give this a try. Try out the 24-hour trial and see it for yourself on how more you can really improve your own flight simming experience, and do share your thoughts below. As always, it's been a true pleasure. I'd love to try a few more flights and hopefully showcase them in the future. And until next time, bye bye for now.